Hello there. It's a cold day, New York City, Central Park, and Shelley's asked me to speak about anxiety release for a second. Anxiety release is for a response, a chronic response to life, where we lock in on a certain idea and start repeating it. Another word for it is anxiety. And so anxiety is tied into our survival mechanisms. And part of survival, when something feels like there's a danger, is to watch it and to repeat it and keep it in our vision. Unfortunately, sometimes that can be the way our boss looked at us. It could be a projection in terms of concern about financial situations. It can be what we just ate. Anxiety can show up in so many different ways, but what's really important to know is that it sets off a whole set of physiological events. The body's really wired to protect itself from certain things in the environment. Unfortunately, in our modern world, those things can start becoming chronic. And the more times we become anxious, the more likely we are to become anxious. So there's a part of the brain that when we are in a state of fear, holds our vision or our attention to it. It's called the basal ganglia. The basal ganglia repeats something. And it's tied into this excitatory neurotransmitter. Excitatory means it makes the brain move faster, and that's called glutamate. It's the most plentiful neurotransmitter in the brain. And glutamate speeds up the brain because when we're in an emergency or a fear state, the brain needs to move faster. Now, the thing about the brain to understand is that whatever pathway you go down, you're more likely to go down it again and again. So if you're doing things to trigger this glutamate process, it'll just keep happening even when there's not a stress. So, fortunately, in the brain, there's something that inhibits glutamate or calms the brain. It's called GABA. And so GABA attaches to, it's a neurotransmitter, it attaches to other neurons, and it sends a signal to inhibit or to slow down this excitatory process. And so that's what the central oil blend called anxiety release is for, is helping you develop patterns of inhibiting this excitatory process. And so it has a calming feeling. It has a feeling of like you can think about something, realize you need to pay attention to it, but then be able to let it go. So anxiety would be a repetition of thought, it would be an excitatory response, and it can become a habitual response. So we're trying to find a way to break that pattern through specific ways of perceiving life. And what anxiety release does is it helps facilitate that process of being able to let go and release anxiety when it happens.